Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more fighting fantasy with the Creature of Havoc. Now unfortunately the Creature of Havoc has proved to be rather chaotic of late. I spent about an hour recording, about 50 minutes, and I had a great time. You know, I obviously picked up where I left off. I played for a while. I went on a rampaging series of double kills, which was remarkably amusing. And I discovered not one, not two, but 3 auto kills. Furthermore, I discovered that every option beyond the secret room led to these 3 auto kills. So literally, that secret room, which I thought was making progress, was a false lead. And there must be another way. So I went all the way back to the party of dead adventurers at the beginning. And I managed to get no bats. I went up northwards to the room with the flesh devourers and the essence of knowledge, which I consumed, the ability to make rational decisions and think for myself. I headed west, and I fought the 3 adventurers, and I gained the ugly pendant. And then I thought, well, I can go east to the foot of the flight of stairs, and up the flight of the stairs just leads to death in every direction. East is probably not very long because I've been around the back of that area and therefore that can't be very big. So the only place I haven't really explored is that seemingly endless passageway to the north, which just got wider and wider and darker and we couldn't find anything. So we are back there now because after all that, I went up there and I found a secret door. And I went through the secret door and I said, this will be a lovely point to end the episode. And I pressed my stop recording button and I closed the game down. And I discovered that in my eagerness to start recording, I hadn't even launched recording software. So, yeah. Not the greatest beginning to an episode. But here we are. So we're back by the point where we've just fought the 3 adventurers, the thief, the warrior woman with the golden bracelets, and the other third person, one of whom had the ugly pendant, which we are taking. So the pendant must have, I think the coins belonged to the thief or the warrior, I can't remember who had the pendant, but we've got it now. It is ours. You continue. Oh, also, because I thought I was making progress during the last episode, I saved some new bookmarks which overwrote existing ones and pushed them off the bottom of the list. So I have now found we have a free bookmark limit, which is good. But it does mean I can't quite go back to where I was last time. All is silent as you walk carefully along the passage. Eventually your ears pick up the sound of running water and the air becomes moist and cool. The sensation would be quite refreshing if it were not for an unpleasant smell, which gets stronger as the sound of water becomes louder. Soon you find yourself on a ledge in the face of a rocky cliff. Looking out, you can see you are high over a vast cavern through which a river flows. Leading down from your ledge into the center of the cavern is a flight of rough-cut stairs. This precarious staircase spans the river and is the only way onwards, but the thought of descending the stairs is not one which fills you with enthusiasm. The narrow steps have been made for human-sized feet, and your large paths will make your descent awkward. The smell, which was unpleasant before, is now horrendous and seems to be coming from the river itself. Its waters are murky brown and the smell of excrement and decay is overpowering. Nevertheless, your only way on is downwards, so down you must go. It is entirely possible that this is the wrong place and I should be going to one of these 2 sections, but this seems to be the one. We have been fortunate. Ah yes, this is the Passageway North, which I had previously considered to be a dead end. The descent is dangerous, and several times you lose your footing and stumble on the slippery steps, but your luck holds out and you finally arrive at the foot of the staircase. The stench of the river is especially foul to your sensitive nostrils, and your eyes search desperately for a way out of the cavern. You discover two openings in the rock face ahead of you. One leads to the east and the other to the north. Will you consider... Yeah, we are going northwards. East leads to the stairs and death in almost every direction. A passage leads from the opening into the rock face, and you follow it, but you find that as you travel north, the light fades rapidly. There are no glowstones in this passage, and you must progress carefully, steadying yourself by running your hands along both walls. The ground underfoot is rocky, and several times you stub your scaly toes painfully on the protruding stones. Later, you can no longer touch both walls at once. Although you are unable to see anything, you sense that you are entering a large chamber. And this was the turn back round, this is a dead end type section before. As you shuffle around the wall of the cavern, you suddenly notice a strange sensation coming from your neck. The pendant you picked up is beginning to vibrate slightly, and is giving out a faint hum. But when you continue around the wall, the vibration fades until the pendant is once more still. You puzzle over this for a few moments and step back to where you were before. Again, the vibrations and humming come from the pendant, and you pause to look at what is happening. The dull blue stone set in its center is beginning to glow, and you watch it in amazement as its color changes from blue to a living red, as though a fire were burning inside it. An instant later, a single beam of red light shoots from the stone to a point on the wall in front of you. Following its direction, you can see what seems to be a piece of rock hanging in mid-air. As if ordered by the pendant, you grasp the rock and pull. It is not hanging in mid-air, but is attached to a rope, and your tug is answered by a rumble from the rock in front of you. A doorway is opening. You gain 1 luck point for finding the secret door. The pendant you have found is, in fact, a magic talisman which has a special power. It is able to detect hidden doorways. In the future, it will warn you of the presence of secret doors, but you will have to watch for the warning signs. We will absolutely enter the secret door instead of turning back. And this is where I left off last time. Wait. Green cat. Oh, no. No. What? Please, more vapors. You crouch low and squeeze through the narrow gap. As you pass through the doorway, a single glowstone flicks on to reveal the contents of the small chamber which you are now standing in. The room is completely bare except for a large chest against one of the walls. You step over and examine the chest. You push it, shove it, and bash it, trying to break it open. Finally, a lucky push opens the lid. Inside, you find 2 mysterious objects. The first is a large circular plate made of strong metal. It has a sharp spike which protrudes from the center on one side and 2 leather straps on the other. It's a shield! On the same side as the straps is attached a leather pouch which may be useful for carrying things. The other object is a piece of rough-coloured rock about the size of your forearm. One end is wide and the other is much narrower, like a club. It is a dull green colour and glistens faintly in the light, but it appears very brittle. It may make a useful weapon, gripped by the tapered end, but it will no doubt not last long in battle. You may take one of these items with you. Any metallic discs may be placed in the pouch on the plate. If you choose this object, we will take the plate. When strapped to your arm, this plate will make a useful shield in battle. While using this shield, your skill is increased by 1. In addition, any more metallic discs of gold and silver may be carried in the pouch on the back. You now leave the chamber and continue your journey. No! Back to all the auto kills. Oh, good God, wait. Wait. This may be somewhere different. And I think it's bookmark worthy. As while we'll be replacing this one, it's essentially those are going the other way, and this is, yeah. You cannot see a thing. Your heavy feet shuffle noisily through the straw which covers the floor, as you grope around the walls for a way out. If this cavern is the lair of another creature, then you may well be walking straight towards it. But you hear no sounds other than your own, and eventually you reach a hole in the rock which is large enough for you to walk through and leads to a passageway. You continue slowly along the passage, still groping your way, but you stop when a blue light flicks on in front of you. The welcome hue of a glowstone makes you blink and turn away until your eyes become accustomed to the light. When you are finally able to take in your surroundings, you find that you are at a junction where you may travel to the east or west. I'm going to go eastwards this time and see where it leads. You turn east and follow the passageway. You pass under a narrow archway and find yourself in an open room which is well lit by torches fixed high on the walls. You look around for a way onwards, but the only passage leading from the room is the one you arrived along. The room is bare except for a small pile of what looks like black cloth lying against one of the walls. I'd love to absolutely investigate this chamber further, and this looks like the flying ship which the evil villain has his army in. So further to elaborate on the auto kills I discovered earlier, I could go down into the mine where many slaves were toiling away and get caught, or I could get caught. As in, yeah, the two options to try and sneak and avoid the guards both left to death. I could avoid going into the mine and go into a room where a dark elf would blow a whistle and summon an endless string of chaos warriors, where I would be forced to fight to the death. And this wasn't an auto kill, it was a forced auto kill, where it was literally fight. After you killed 3 or 4 of them, get -3 skill, fight another one, get another -3 skill. And at that point, it was obvious that I was not intended to survive this. And upon death, there was no, congratulations, you faced the endless horde of the same enemy being summoned over and over again or anything. So, yeah, let's investigate this room further then. Oh, we're back in this room. Oh, bollocks. Oh, how do we... Right, so we run away from this creature. We can't fight it, right? You wander around the room, but there is nothing particularly remarkable about it. You stop by the pile of cloth and bend down to pick it up, but to your alarm, it springs into the air and disappears. Perhaps I should have just left the room and not even... A room with a single exit? Entrance the same way we came in? I don't... Wait. Last time we came here, I think we came in through another way, but... So, this is the shadow monster, right? Yeah. We take damage. Fight it? No. Grab torch? No. Flee the area? Yes. In a state of panic, you lumber towards the door as quickly as you are able. The Shadow Stalker, however, is quicker, and its knife finds your back as you flee. You lose another 3 stamina points. That's fine. We keep on running. When you reach the archway, your 2 shadows separate. The Shadow Stalker becomes faint as the light fades. So light makes the shadow stronger because creating it, so in the darkness it can't really do anything because it has no form, right? In the light of the glowstones, you hardly cast a shadow at all, and this seems to worry the creature, because it can't find our shadow to attack it. It slips back along the wall into the room and settles on the floor. You blink and look again. The creature now looks like a pile of black cloth. You turn and leave the room, still not certain of what has happened. Eventually you reach the junction and continue westward, which is apparently the only way we are allowed to go. The passageway continues west, then turns sharply to the right. A few paces along the corridor, you reach a junction where you can go west or north. Well, apparently west is... Yeah, I think we're in a reverse Fighting Fantasy book. Although the option to go south earlier just went into a long loop, fight monsters and then come back and get... So that was just an opportunity to lose stamina. Let's try the western passageway. A short distance along the passageway, you stop and listen. Distant footsteps and the clanking of metal warn you that creatures of some sort are heading in your direction. Let's go back to the junction and turn north. 144, that looks very familiar. The passageway runs straight ahead until you reach a junction where you may continue north, may head east, or return to the previous junction and turn west, where there's a... Let's go east. The passage runs straight ahead until you reach a solid wooden door. It is locked and looks much too sturdy for you to break down, but in the centre of the door is a huge metal plate with a heavy ball pivoted above it. It's a knocker! We will use the ball to hit the plate to attract the attention of whoever is inside. A Rhino Man! Awesome, we haven't seen one of those in a while. The heavy knocker booms loudly on the metal plate. A grunting noise comes from behind the door and you hear heavy feet shuffling as some sort of creature responds to your knock. The door opens, the door slowly creaks open and a long snout appears. Small pig-like eyes peer out at you from behind the single tusk which stands in the middle of the Rhino Man's face. The door opens wider and you can see the creature's stout, heavily armed torso and legs. It speaks to you, which we do not comprehend. He is closing the door without letting you in. Do you understand what this creature is saying to you? No, which means we've missed an opportunity somewhere. Bugger! Where would we have found that? Down that western passage is the only option we really have. If you do not understand or choose to ignore him, will you instead shut the door and step in to attack? Yeah. You kick the door back and slash out at the Rhino Man, suspecting that we are on the way to an auto kill. Ah well. I mean, this is earlier in the series than Midnight Rogue, which is the first book which offered an option to cheat, called you out for it and auto-killed you for trying. So maybe they did that here as well. Who knows? If so, that would have been a rare trick that most people would not have picked up on because it wasn't used again for a long time. So maybe the sounds of armoured marching feet coming towards us was something we should have gone towards, like an illusion or... Come on, game. So where the hell have we missed language? With the Rhino Man defeated, you search the guard room. As the Rhino Man was about the same size as you may wish to take something from the room. So I'm suspecting... that the language thing is like take 3 or 4 letters off or add 3 or 4 letters. There's like there's going to be some simple substitution, because then we could go back and look at the earlier portions where we couldn't understand the language and still make sense of it and go, aha, so that's what this means now, right? We'll take the dusty brown sack. I mean, I kind of just want to go back now and go, oh... The sack can be used to carry anything you may find during your journey. From now on, you may ignore any instructions which tell you that you can only take 1 item. Awesome. I feel bad. I feel that we've seriously missed. Brown sack can be used to collect more than 1 item. Yeah. I want to go back to the secret room and explore that western passage. We'll leave through the door in the north wall. We'll at least explore our options. You enter a short passageway at which you follow to a T-junction. You consider which way to turn. You decide to choose the eastward passage, meaning that westwards is an area they don't want us to return to, or they want us to be coming from. And follow it to a sharp bend to the right. Almost immediately after the bend, you find yourself at the foot of a staircase, and you climb the stairs carefully. Then a corridor leads straight ahead southwards until you reach a T-junction. East or west? Well, west seems to be popular at the moment, so let's take that. After a few paces, the passage begins to wind irregularly in a generally southwesterly direction. You follow it for some time and then it turns south. This is a looping back to somewhere kind of point, isn't it? You arrive at the top of a flight of stairs, but decide against going back down to the lower levels. There is another passage leading east here, and you decide to take this route. You follow the passage to the east, and you find yourself wandering down a long, straight passage. After some time, you arrive at a crossroads, and you must choose which way to turn. As you are considering your choice, you are startled when all the glowstones you are relying on to light the way go out simultaneously. You are now stranded in pitch darkness. We have been heading east. Straight on. You cannot see a thing as you grope your way along the passage. Your anger begins to rise and is near to boiling when you reach a dead end ahead. Is this a secret door? Secret door! As you stand against the wall, desperately searching for a way onwards, you almost overlook the strange things happening around your scaly neck. For the pendant you are wearing is beginning to vibrate and is emitting a faint humming sound. When you suddenly become aware of the pendant, you look down towards it to find out what is going on. When you move away from the end of the passage, the vibration fades. When you come closer, it increases in intensity. You cannot understand what is going on, despite this being the second secret door you must have found because you had to find the first one to get here. An instant later, the jewel in the center of the pendant begins to glow. It changes in color from blue to fiery red. Suddenly a jet of red light bursts from the jewel and lights up the metal rod, which was protruding very slightly from the sidewall. You grasp the rod and push it. A creaking sound is followed by a deep rumbling as the wall ahead begins to shift. The jewel returns to its former dull blue appearance as the secret door opens. Yes, we will go through. You step through the door into another rocky passage, so shortcut somewhere we may have seen before. But this one is short and empty. Shelves are fixed to the walls on both sides. At the end of the passage is a wooden door. You step up to the door and shove it open. All is silent as you enter. That sounds familiar. The room is large with a high ceiling and a musty smell permeates the air. There are 4 doors leading from the... Oh, is this where north goes east? No, it's not. Okay. Boxes. This may be somewhat different. Wait. Ignore what you see. This could be a trap. There are 4 doors leading from the room, 1 in each wall. A long table stands in the middle of the room, and on it is a short stick with a metal head lying next to some small spikes. A couple of planks of wood are resting against the table. We've been here before. It is evidently a workroom of some sort. In one centre of the room you find the products of the work being carried out, 2 torn thin boxes. Yeah. This is the coffins of it. Yeah. Death wish. Okay, yeah. Back we go. East, west. Go west or north. Go west. Distant footsteps. Continue in the direction you're heading. The footsteps and clanking get louder and louder. You can feel your anger rising and your lips curl back to bare your teeth. Suddenly the footsteps stop and you hear hissing noises. They have heard you approach. The passage is rough and twisting and you are straining to see any signs of them ahead. You step nearer and nearer and they are doing likewise. Finally you reach a length of straight passageway. Ahead you can see the dull light of a glowstone and picked out in the light are two human faces. Evidently they can see you too, as their reaction is similar. You stare at each other for a few moments. They hold their ground. You know, we could attack, or wait and see what they do. Let's do that, because they won't expect us to do that. They seem reluctant to advance towards you. Your sighs and your angry snarl must be daunting to them. They mumble something to each other and turn around. They have decided to leave you and are retracing their steps. Their glowstone goes out and you lose sight of them. You may now continue safely. I wonder if they were carrying the vapor that we needed. You wander off north along a main passage and soon reach a junction. Oh, no, we know that 144. East. Okay, so we literally need to go back again. What the hell am I missing? West. West. Continue. Attack them. With bared teeth and claws at the ready, you storm along the passage towards them. They stand their ground, draw their weapons and prepare themselves for battle. The leading adventurer lays a brown sack on the ground. That sack could be important! And raises his weapon as you approach. You must fight both adventurers at a time. The passageway is not wide enough for them both to attack. Then we'll fight them one at a time. Mate, you are seriously outmatched. What are we on? Free diff? Don't be silly with the dice game. It's not very fair. It's bad sportsmanship, you know? This first one is not long for this world. And a double kill just to finish it off. Okay, take the double kill as compensation for the dice shenanigans there. As the last adventurer falls to the ground and silence once more fills the passageway, you pause to rest from the exertion. You squat on your haunches and look at the two battered humans in front of you. We could eat them. We're pretty healthy. Search for bodies for anything interesting. Sounds good. Poke through the sack. So the sack could be something they found while they were down here. And there's a lot of adventurers down here, like a whole group came in here and split up and went searching for the vapors to recover them. Yes! And an achievement, apparently. Wow, okay. There is something solid inside the sack. You fumble with the cloth but cannot seem to find a way inside. Eventually you become frustrated and pick up the sack and shake it. A small wooden casket drops out. As it lands on the ground, the catch flips open. Inside is a flask, and the bump has loosened the stopper. You watch as a green liquid inside bubbles and boils, turning into green gas which slowly seeps from the neck of the flask and drifts upwards in the air before you. You are mesmerized by the swirling mists which gradually become recognizable as a face. It is thin with angular features and is decidedly human. Eventually its eyes open and stare into yours. Mom Yoslvim Buffer Hupokbsa Penot Havev Rupfot Pungvs Nef Jrip Shift Jipens Mero Jif Tijsig Rubnitfid Fipperbo Repro Fipper Op Rusfem Yirfl Fibbersve Biffers Tpuz Opno. What's the word there? Yipwoof Fevend Thristbund Jung Yip Vu Dufsruj. May you use your gift wisely. Having said these words, the green gas swirls once more and the face disappears. As if sucked by force, it disappears once more into the flask. Once it is inside, the flask and the casket begin to fade. Moments later, they have disappeared, but your unintentional encounter with the Vapor of Tongues has been fortunate. The spirit has bestowed upon you its gift of language. From now on, you will understand most languages as spoken or written. I'm bookmarking this. To learn how to use this new ability, yes, it's a cipher. Turn to 283. You were able to translate the last sentence of the spirit's words as it passed on its gift. Throughout the book, you will find coded speech. Now that you have the gift of understanding, you can translate the code. Otherwise, all speech seems incomprehensible to your creature's mind. The secret is this. There are 3 rules to this code. First, each vowel is replaced by the following letter. A becomes B, U becomes V. Okay, that's a reasonably easy one to remember. I'm screenshotting this. Second, spaces between words are replaced by the last vowel to have been used. Thus, all vowels mean nothing. They only indicate spaces between words. Okay. Finally, the actual spaces between words as they appear are entirely random. They mean nothing and serve only to mislead. You gain 1 luck point for this discovery. Go back to the previous section and translate the code. Now, are the people at Tin Man Games going to be very nice and make the game automatically translate it for us? You can now understand what the Vapor of Tongues was previously saying to you. I have been awakened from my slumber. Who calls on the Vapor of Tongues? The heavenly bodies have taken their positions. My gift is granted. For better or worse, my release bestows on you the understanding you desire. May you use your gift widely. With this powerful new ability, you can translate the words on the leather hide you found. Let's absolutely do that. You look once again at the piece of leather hide. All of a sudden, you find you understand the words. Swineherd of yore, you have been found guilty of the crime of willful and malicious arson, a most serious offence in the dry region of Salamonis. As punishment, you are sentenced to undertake a perilous mission of recovery. You must travel northwards and enter the underground domain of Zharradan Marr, there to seek out and recover flasks of swirling vapours. These are the vapours of Stittlewode. So they sent a bunch of condemned prisoners on this quest? No wonder the adventurers fared pretty poorly. You must find the 3 flasks containing these vapours and return them to this court. On no account must they be opened. This is the sentence of the court. This is your punishment. You must succeed or die in the attempt. Vapour of knowledge, flaxen mane of Silverton, winged helmet. Flaxen mane of Silverton equals winged helmet. Huh. With this newfound knowledge, you continue on your adventure. So now, I don't get to call this episode Creature of Double Kill anymore. Creature of Double Kill would have been an awesome episode, by the way. We made mistakes, we had auto kills, we died in the mines 2 or 3 times, fought loads of Chaos Warriors to the death, and I think it's a reasonably... Oh, no, hang on. So that looks familiar. That looks familiar. Let's go back to that Rhino Man. It was roughly this way, wasn't it? No. The passageway twists and turns until it leads you into a wide cavern. You pause to survey the way ahead. There are no creatures to be seen, and all is still, except for a dull humming which is forming an almost unnoticeable background noise. The wall to the left is riddled with large holes like a huge honeycomb, and many of the holes are lit with a yellow glow. In the centre of the cavern, a few steps off the path, is what seems to be a small pool of shimmering liquid. Pass through the chamber as quickly as possible. Investigate the light coming from the holes, or look at the pool of shimmering liquid. Let's investigate the light coming from the holes. Yeah, I thought so. Insects, because I was thinking like a honeycomb pattern. You leave the path and continue up over the rocks to get a look at the nearest hole, and yes, the liquid is probably honey. It is just out of your reach, and you must hoist yourself up to be able to peer into it. As your head comes up to the level of the hole and the glow splashes across your eyes, the cause of the light reveals itself and gives you such a fright that you lose your grip and tumble down to the path. For you come face to face with a huge head with grilled patterned eyes and clattering mandibles. This giant Hornet launches itself from its hole and swoops down on you, its poisonous sting aimed straight at your chest. Do we get to fight? You must resolve your battle with the deadly creature. Although not strong, the giant Hornet has one powerful weapon, its deadly sting. This sting does 4 points of stamina damage if it hits you. Okay, this could be a tough fight, except we're probably just going to muller it. Double kill! If you defeat the Hornet, not Cornet, you'd better leave the chamber quickly. You take the path carefully through the cavern so as to avoid any danger. The path leads out through a narrow archway into a passageway which you follow east until you reach a junction where a side passage leads southwards. But we shouldn't be going that way, should we? You decide to choose the eastward passage and you follow it to a sharp bend to the right. Almost immediately after the bend, you find yourself at the foot of a staircase. You climb the staircase carefully, then a corridor leads straight ahead, southwards, until you reach a T-junction. East or west? East, I think, was a bad idea, and ended up just involving going west anyway. After a few paces, the passage begins to wind irregularly in a general southwesterly direction. You follow it for some time and then it turns south. You arrive at the top of a flight of stairs but decide against going back down to the lower levels. There is another passage leading east here and you decide to take this route. Am I going a really bad way? Okay, so we're back down here in the darkness, north, south or straight on. Let's stick with straight on. Hang on. These are different, right? They're not... They're not just do you want to deviate and go off to the side, so they may have different results. However, they could also be. Let's go straight on. Dead end, secret door. We'll go through it. And then we are back in the room for coffins. Big mistake. Okay, back to our bookmark we go. Language has been gained. Read the scroll. So. East. Yes! The passage runs straight ahead until you reach a solid wooden door. It is locked and looks much too sturdy for you to break down, but in the centre of the door is a huge metal plate with a heavy ball pivoted above it. We will bang on the door, and the Rhino Man comes and answers the door, and he says, "Come on then, what business do you have? Answer quickly." "Lost your tongue, eh? Then be gone, be off of you before I decide to have a little battle practice." He's closing the door without letting you in. We do understand what he said. "Come on then, what business have you here? Answer quickly," he snorts. The creature is somewhat taken aback when you show that you understand his words. Although you are of similar sizes, you certainly look the more powerful of the two, and this is probably the reason that the Rhino Man invites you into his guard room. "Are you also one of Marr's creatures?" he growls. When you look puzzled, he snorts. "If you don't know, then you must be looking for either the Yellowstone mines or the testing grounds in Knot Oak Wood. Looking at the size of you, I'd reckon the testing grounds were more likely. Daramoose will know. He knows everything that happens in these parts. He'll set you right, but don't cross him. Even one of your size cannot hope to tangle with such a foul-tempered, lifeless one. And if you make it to the testing grounds, oblige me by finding... oh, what was his symbol? They don't have names in the testing grounds, except for that foul-breathed weapon master, Fugruf. Legionnaire 29, I think. A Rhino Man like me. If he's still alive, he ought to know this. Gat Ha'uli has escaped with the ring to the forest of spiders. But of course you cannot speak, can you? Here, I'll write it down for you." He hands you the message. If you come across Legionnaire 29 later in your adventure, you may pass on the message if you want to. You rise to leave the guard room. The Rhino Man gives you directions. "Leave through the north door here. When you arrive at the T-junction, turn right and follow the passage." You take his advice. And I will take this as a good opportunity to end the episode and give my throat a rest after a second recording episode tonight. This time actually recording as well. Hey, hope to see you all next time, and with less technical issues than I had earlier on this evening. But I'm going to say bye-bye for now, and cheerio everyone. See you next time.